Hi folks, now this is a chat. I'm doing it 7 o'clock in the evening on Monday as I'm walking the dogs. Now, I haven't seen the news, so I just thought I'd do an update on a video I've seen of Charlie Veitch. Now, first of all, I've had some threats against me. People have threatened me because I've filmed the burning of the Quran, as if I'm responsible. Now, this leads us on to, oh, by the way, I'm not into book burning of any sort, so I'm not bothered if it's religious or not. But that doesn't mean that I don't support the people's rights to freedom of expression. I mean, after all, one wonders if somebody burnt some literature, I don't know, just a book they found offensive, would they be arrested? I don't know, say something a bit sexual or something, and they go, I do not agree, it's too rude, so I am burning it as a public protest. Would they be arrested? Now, obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of the laws, but he's now, apparently, according to Charlie Veitch, has been charged. So, it is important, folks, that once somebody's charged, we best not talk about the case. But what I will talk about is what Charlie Veitch said, which horrifies me. Apparently, for some bizarre reason, Manchester police, I presume it's Manchester police, have felt the need to put his name out. How bizarre. This is clearly putting the guy in great danger, because nut jobs will be out there. People will be thinking in their heads that they have the right to murder. You'll have people who don't care about their own life and think it's worthy of going to prison. And for some also bizarre reason, they put the victim's name out. Neither will I read out or say, but I think in both ways, I think it's ridiculous because you're putting both these people in great risk because, if something happens, will the victim be targeted? I mean, I think it's ridiculous. And in fact, the message there is don't report crimes, because why would you want your name in the paper? Well, in the, police releasing your details. I think that is shocking. Can you imagine how many women may be, because it's majority of women who suffer, say, rape or, sexual abuse or something, will be panicking in case their details are put out by Manchester police. I mean, this is an outrageous act. Now, personally, I don't believe anyone should ever have the names or addresses put out. I've never understood what the logic is, because obviously, what is it you're trying to do? Get people killed? Because there'll be people out there, even for the most smallest of crimes. Somebody who's maybe just done a bit of shoplifting because they're desperate for food. Naming them, shaming them in the papers. I think it would be an outrageous act. Because people get in their heads to take revenge on people. And so, we do see people, I've known people who've had their windows put through and all sorts. And they've ended up moving. Or even, I know in one case, they had the house burnt down. And, I'm shocked. Now, apparently, it also states that one of the local newspapers had the audacity, the disgusting nature to put out this guy's address. Well, I mean, my goodness. I mean, this is, this, regardless of your view, because I know this has split, and again, we have to not talk about it, because obviously it's an ongoing, I don't know, court case and all this. But, I've noticed online it's split. Some people support him, some people against. And it doesn't mean that, even people who aren't left-wing have been against him, and people who have left-wing support him and vice versa. People who are right-wing have supported him and people who are right-wing have been against what he did. It has split the opinions of people, which is fair enough, and I'm not here to tell you guys how to think. You can make your own judgments, which I think is important. Again, I mean, mine is I wouldn't burn books. But I'm not going to criticise somebody else who believes, for whatever reason, artistic reasons, that's the thing. I mean, after all, people do this type of thing as modern art all the time. Now, I'm just, like I said, it's, I mean, there is a chance I could be killed because of posting this video, and along with everyone else who's filmed it and whatnot, because there's people out there who are, crazy. They get in their heads that they think they've got rights to do things, to take people's lives. And often, we've seen it, haven't we? I mean, I was watching a video from the Leeds protest from last Saturday, where one of the women who's, she's made accusations against News Now Yorkshire before. She's completely I wouldn't say that. Slanderous, isn't it? But in my opinion, she's not a very nice person. Clearly not a nice person. She was saying some horrific things. And the police just stood there and allowed it. And the trouble is, now I know, in fairness, the police are probably worried that if there's not enough police on these protests. There's usually about 5 or 6. And no doubt they're panicking in case if they arrest somebody and it all kicks off, they're going to be outnumbered and everything could go chaos. You could have a riot. And therefore, they'll look the other way. But the trouble is, this message is that people can get away with doing whatever they want. And that's a dangerous message. And it's a message that's, well, I don't know. It's this. The trouble is, you see, none of this we'd never seemed to have these problems about 10 years ago, maybe a bit longer. Now, it's suddenly people started weaponising religion. We saw it with a few religions. It's not just one particular one. Everyone demanding their rights. So you had, you've got Muslims demanding they've got rights, and I think, the example would be the Christians, where, in my opinion, where they've gone out and said, I demand I should wear my cross outside my uniform. No one's stopping them wearing a cross inside the uniform, but the trouble is everyone then starts going out and saying I've got more rights than the next person and all this. And I think this is one of the problems we've had recently in the last few years. I don't recall this ever happening in the 80s, or 90s. It just seems to be a recent thing, this weaponising religion and creating all these problems. I also don't think it helps when you've got people on the left who, rather than just say, yeah, this is wrong, then instead of saying that, they just turn around and excuse it and go, oh, but excuse. Giving it, again, the belief that certain people have the right or will get away with doing ridiculously evil crimes in the name of whatever belief they've got. And this isn't having to go at any particular religion. This applies to, as far as I'm concerned, all religions. I'll just finish this. If anyone does touch this bloke, you've got to think about this. Do not touch this guy. Don't vandalise his house. Don't harass him. Don't swear at him. Because this could escalate vastly. I mean, if it was murdered, I think that would just... I've got a feeling it could create such escalation, it's untrue. You're not going to achieve anything by abusing this guy or harming him anyway. Just leave him alone. You might not agree with what he's done, but just look the other way, because if things, you're not going to make things better, let's put it this way, if you harm him. Things will go sour very quickly. And I think it's time to, stop these silly games of I've got more rights than you have, and I'm going to weaponise my religion, and I'm so more important than your religion and all this. Again, I'm not bothered what your religion is. I'm not religious in any way. But yeah, I can see things. I still can't believe Manchester released both the details. I think it's appalling. And if anything happens to either of them, I'm going to say this, I think Manchester Police, in my opinion, are responsible. And also this newspaper, I think they're responsible if anything happens to this chap, because they released his details. But I'm shocked. I'm shocked they've released, you know, if you're now a victim of crime, are you really going to go towards the police? I wouldn't. I'm never going to go report things. I don't want my details being released to the press. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, I honestly can't believe the police released both people's details. I mean, what are they thinking? Are these, you know, I mean, what... You're just thinking, are these people that got a brain cell between them? Nobody in their right mind would be going, oh, I know, let's release the name of the person who could be harmed. I mean, are the police going to end up having to protect this guy or change his name or whatever? I mean, we don't know if he's got family there. He could be, you know, he could be married or whatever, have children in that house. You know, are they now going to be also at risk? I mean, this is ridiculous. I can't believe it, folks. I'm honestly shocked. I'm hoping Charlie Veitch has got this wrong. So I'm going to check the news when I get in. So I just can't believe a police force would do this. You have to be bonkers. I mean, whoever came out with this decision to make shouldn't even be in a job now. I mean, that's worrying. I mean, I've never even known the victim being named like this before. I mean, you know, I honestly don't know. This is shocking, folks. Anyway, I'll leave it there because I'm shocked. I truly am. I never imagined the police would release his details. Not mine, both of them. I mean, I honestly didn't think he'd be charged, to be honest, because I thought, well, you know, they must have realised it's going to be more of a problem, but, you know, I honestly, I'm shocked. I'm shocked, but then again, you know, it wasn't. I'm still wondering if the police, and this is just another one. Do you remember a few weeks ago when they went round to charge that bloke, or arrest him, so I should have say, had been publishing the videos of women coming out of nightclubs drunk, and they actually filmed. They basically showed where he lived, didn't they, folks? There was a video, well, at least I believe it, where the police had put it out. Maybe it wasn't. Where they're putting him in the police car. I've never known that. I mean, what is Manchester Police playing at? What are they doing? Have they even charged this guy? Or is it all just publicity? I honestly don't know. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, are they the same ones that was at Liverpool? I don't know, the ones that... I don't know. I'm beyond it. I just don't know what's going on with the police. And I don't actually, when I'm talking about this, I'm not on about, you know, the police on the street. I think in 99% of the time are decent people. I'm on about these senior officers who make these decisions. I honestly don't know. I honestly, who came out with that decision to release his details? The guy now is probably at risk for the rest of his life. So is his family. What are you going to do? Tell him to move or what? What's the plan of, you know, if he starts getting targeted, what's Manchester's police response? Are they just going to say, oh, well, you can move, that'll be a bit simple. What are you going to do? Tell him to restart his life? You're responsible, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, we'll leave it there. I'm shocked. I'll tell you something, I won't go report a crime to Manchester Police now. Hey ho.